If Adobe can't buy me, I'll just become Adobe myself. Hello everyone, Nat here. And Figma's big conference, Config 25, has dropped a ton of new features and the design world is buzzing. But today, let's look past the new tools themselves and talk about something bigger. How does a great focused product started to feel bloated? For a lot of Figma's early users like me, this moment feels familiar. It's like when your favorite indie band, the one you loved for their raw sound and intimate show, suddenly signs with a major label. They get a huge new production, add synthesizers and a new string section. They are more powerful and polished, but you can't help but miss the simple original one that you fell in love with. To put it more sharply, the Dragon Slayer that once challenged the giant Adobe is starting to look a lot like the dragon itself. This is a classic growth paradox that almost all successful product faces. You have to keep growing to stay relevant, but that growth often means adding complexity and then losing that initial simple purity. We've seen it with Photoshop, with Notion, with countless others. They were once simple challengers, now it's Figma's turn. I think Figma is experiencing its midlife crisis, a critical period of transformation. So let's break down this new sound Figma is creating. It's basically fighting a battle on 4 different fronts at the same time. First, the battle for all creators. With Figma Draw, it's sending a clear message. The new brushes and advanced vector tools aren't just for UI designers anymore. The target is now anyone who might have used Adobe Illustrator or something like that. Figma doesn't just want to be the place for app builders, it wants to be the main canvas for all visual creation creators. Second, the battle for the finished product. With Figma Sites, it's no longer just a design tool. It's now a one-stop shop to design, prototype, and publish a live website. This is a direct shot at the competitors like Figma, like Webflow, like something else. And it's Figma's attempt to own the entire process from start to finish. The third one, the battle for the big companies. The Figma Buzz feature is tailor-made for the marketing and branding department of large companies. It's about creating on-brand assets at scale. This is Figma directly competing with tools like Canvas for Business. And fourth, a battle for the future, Figma Make. The prompt to prototype feature is Figma's power move in the AI race that no one can afford to lose. It's a statement that Figma plans to be at the forefront of what's next. So, you see, Figma is trying to build a creative empire that does everything. It can't help but remind you of that failed acquisition from last year, leading to a pretty interesting conclusion. If Adobe can't buy me, I'll just become Adobe myself. Now, this strategy is brilliant, and Figma is expanding its territory at an incredible rate. But it comes at a cost, and that cost is paid by us, the users, and by the industry as a whole. Let's get practical. First, the cost to users. We are paying a simplicity tax. I don't know if you felt this. You used to open Figma and the toolbar was clean and you knew exactly where everything was. It was fast because it was focused. The first price we pay for Figma's do everything power is efficiency and focus. When a tool tries to serve everyone, every purpose, it inevitably becomes more complicated for the person who just wants to do one thing well. Simplicity is no longer a given, it's a luxury we pay for with our time and attention. Second, let's talk about the cost to the industry. We risk losing the creative flea market. Figma now is like a huge all-in-one Walmart opening up in a city. This Walmart is incredibly convenient. It has everything you need. But over time, the small independent shop starts to disappear. The little bookstore with some style, the local bakery that makes the best bread, they can't compete. Figma's platform strategy has a similar effect. When it adds website building with Figma sets, it gets harder for the specialized innovative tools to survive. When it beefs up Figma Draw, it becomes tougher for the smaller, focused illustration apps to find an audience. So, when we break down Figma's evolution, what we are really seeing is a classic Silicon Valley growth story. And it leaves us with some big questions. For users like us, do we embrace the convenience of this superstore, or do we make an effort to find and support the unique specialized tools that do one thing perfectly? For entrepreneurs, is Figma's path the only way to succeed? Or is there still a way to thrive by staying small and beautiful in the shadow of the giants? There are no easy answers here, but by understanding Figma's choices and their costs, helps us better understand the world of technology, of products that we live in today. I'm Nat, a designer in Beijing. What do you think of Figma's evolution? Do you think the Dragon Slayer in the end becomes the dragon itself? Let me know your thoughts in comments. And see you next time. Bye.